folks, and welcome back to Wilderness Wargaming. Tonight we're going to take a look at the faction focus for the World Eaters and see what we have in store for the followers of the Blood God tonight. So stick around and we're going to get right into it. As always, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and leave us a pound Valkyrie for the pooch, who would really like it, and we would like it a lot too. And click the notifications bell for more great content from Wilderness Wargaming. So let's get to it. All right. So the World Eaters are the newest faction that is actually independent as its own faction in the game, even newer than the Votann, technically, because although they've been around for a long time, they've always been just another flavor of Chaos Space Marine. They are the last one to get their codex in ninth edition, and I think the codex, which from all accounts is greatly simplified and streamlined, is more like what we're going to see when codexes start appearing for 10th edition. So let's take a look at this. Okay, the galaxy's in turmoil. Yeah, if you're one of those. Okay. Slaughter Incarnate. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing to this army, if you're not familiar with it, other than melee. There are a few things that shoot, but for the most part, you just want to get in and stay in melee. And even the most hefty melee armies will really struggle to deal with you. Let's see here. What do we got down here? Okay, Khorne, like all the Chaos Gods, can be fickle. World Eaters enjoy his favor more often than most, infamous for their rugged ability to ride the tides of war. So they are going to get the Blessings of Khorne army rule, which has you roll a pool of dice each battle round in order to channel the Blood God's power. Now, when I reviewed this, I was initially a little confused about what was going on here, but you just have to read it carefully. So what you're going to do, at the start of each battle round, you make a Blessings of Khorne roll. You're going to roll 8d6. Then you're going to use these dice to activate up to 2 Blessings of Khorne from the Blessings of Khorne list. Blessings of Khorne specifies the dice result it requires, where a higher number specified, a double or triple that value or higher is required. So what you're looking for is, it's almost like playing poker with this. You're going to roll these 8 dice, and you're obviously going to get some doubles because there's only 6 possible faces. So you're guaranteed at least by definition 2 doubles, because your 7th and your 8th die have to, or 1 triple at a minimum. You may get more than that. You can only activate each Blessing of Khorne once per battle round, so you can't use the same one twice, even if you have the same double twice over. Now, it becomes a little more obvious when we look down with the chart. How do these work? Okay, so the first one here, Rage Fueled Invigoration, any double. So any pair of dice with the same facing gives you the ability to add 2 inches to the move characteristics of models in the unit you select. Pretty straightforward. Wrathful Devotion, 6 up, Feel No Pain, and +1 on Feel No Pain if they already have it on any double. Okay, no problem. Easy enough. Now we come down here to Martial Excellence, double 3+. Melee weapons by models in this unit have the Sustained Hits 1 ability. Okay, so what this means is basically anything other than Snake Eyes. You have to have a doubles, and that double has to be of a number of 3 or higher. Now we get down here to Total Carnage, double 4+ or any triple. So it's 4 up or a triple of any value. So you see how it's a little like playing poker. You're trying to put your dice together in combinations like a card. It's not that difficult, but when you read it the first time, it's a little like, wait, what? And then once you see this chart, it becomes more obvious what they're talking about. Okay, if it's destroyed by a melee attack, if the model is not fought, this roll 1d6 on a 4 up. Do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks and then removed from play. This is very handy since you're a melee person. Sometimes you can fall victim to just the way the melee sequence works in 40k. If you happen to get charged or somebody has a fight first or something like that, no matter how great you are in melee, your opponent still may be able to kill you just by virtue of beating you in the initiative order. These kind of fight on death abilities make it really, really risky for somebody to do that. Let's see, what else have we got? I like these a lot with Repentia and the Sisters Army. This is something that could really make an opponent think twice about charging you, because a double 4-up or any triple actually gives you pretty good chance of getting this. 50% of your doubles will be a 4 on 4s or higher, and any triple just expands that range some. I'm not a I haven't done the math on how many possibilities for doubles and triples and all that there are in this chart, but I might do a short video on that after this one, where I've worked the math out and I can tell you the answer. I'm not going to sit here and work the math while you watch me. Okay, warp blades, double 5 plus or any triple. Okay, melee weapons equipped by models need to have the lethal hits ability. Okay, I'm not sure. Well, actually, yeah, lethal hits is definitely better than sustained hits. Yeah, okay, that seems appropriate because you're bypassing that wound roll. Double 6 or a triple 4. Unit is eligible to charge a turn which you advance. This is the money one here. This is the one. Now the only thing with this is, once you do get into combat, this isn't going to help you as much. So you have to hope you get this double 6 or triple 4 early and when you need it. The big weakness of this army, with its relative lack of shooting, is getting shot off the table. You got to cross that ground quickly and get in there. And unless they're changing it in the Codex, the Khorne, the World Eaters do not have Raptors. They don't have. They don't have Warp Talons, I don't believe, and I don't know if they even have bikes. I think they do, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So this could be. This is not as easy to get as the other ones. You're going to get on half your triples, but only 1/6 of your doubles. So again, I'll need to work the math out and do a short piece for you guys on the math. I do like this though. This is creative, and once you get past that initial kind of factor, if you've read it through twice, you should be able to understand it pretty easily. It's not that hard to figure out. Um, it's very creative. I love how interesting and different this rule is. It really one of my favorites actually so far. In an army, I'm only mildly interested myself, and I wouldn't spend the money to buy one, but I would be very interested to play against somebody who did have this army, just because this rule alone is quite different from anything I can recall seeing before in 40k. Okay. Oh, it does not affect your demonic allies. They're not. They don't have the ability. Okay. Let's see. Now let's look at the Khorne Berserker. So we're going to continue with the trend of looking at the basic infantry unit. So these guys, for those who are not aware, Khorne Berserkers are a unit that exists both in the regular Chaos Space Marines Codex and in the World Eaters Codex. Before there was a World Eaters Codex, if you were playing World Eaters using the Chaos Space Marines Codex, the thing with these guys was that they were an elite's choice unless your army was World Eaters, and then you could use them as troops. And these guys are ferocious in hand-to-hand combat. Okay, 6-inch move, toughness 4, 3-up save, 2 wounds, leadership 2, objective control 2. Now, this is what this guy. So they have a plasma pistol and a bolt pistol for shooting. Plasma pistol's probably on the champion. We've looked at these before. Nothing exciting here. Weapons Berserker Chainblade. That's kind of nice because you can use either the axe or the sword, whichever you happen to think looks better. 4 attacks, 3-up weapon skill, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1. This is already strong. It's 4 attacks on just a basic models compared to right now, I believe. Example, if you have Chaos Space Marines with chainswords on the Legionnaires, that would be 3 attacks, including the chainswords. This is better, higher strength. It's still got some AP. And then the Khorne Eviscerator, which is no doubt the squad leader's weapon, only 3 attacks, but strength 8, AP -2, damage 2. So there's your even heavier hitter here. So this is going to be wounding Custodes, the Terminators, Gravis, Votann, all on 4s. Pretty much everything else as far as infantry on 3s. And all but the toughness vehicles, you're at least going to be wounding on 5s. and then the Eviscerator here. That'll be wounding even things like Land Raiders on 5s. That's pretty good. Now, then they have this other ability over here. Blood Surge. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot after the unit has finished making its attacks, if any models from this unit were destroyed as a result of those attacks, the unit can make a Blood Surge move. So roll 1d6. The unit can move number of inches up to the result. The unit must finish the move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit, excluding aircraft. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of that unit. A unit cannot make a Battle Surge move while it is Blood Surge move while it is battle shocked. Okay, so this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. So let's get into this. So you have to weather the shooting first. If you take any losses, you can make the Blood Surge move. So you can't, ironically, cannot do it if you don't lose models. It's basically an advance roll, but it functions more like a consolidate or a pile in, except that it's more restrictive. You don't just have to end closer, you have to end up as close as possible to the closest enemy unit, which would mean you have to move directly towards them, unless you can't move directly towards them for some reason. So that doesn't give you as many options to monkey around with moving at weird angles and stuff like that and just technically ending up slightly closer. You have to go straight at them. But on the other hand, you can end an engagement range. So it acts like a pseudo charge in that respect. But because it isn't a charge, I don't believe you will get the benefits of charging that you would normally get. However, you'll be having the fight phase coming up, and that actually could still be pretty good, because remember, this is going to be in the enemy's turn, because they all have just shot you most of the time. I guess unless maybe you were shot by a unit where some kind of shooting interrupt was used. But most of the time it's going to be the enemy's turn. So you can move into engagement range. Now you haven't charged, but assuming that the sequence of activation works like it does in 9th edition, that means you're going to be going first when you select the unit. So you can activate before that enemy unit. Also notice that it's the closest enemy you have to move towards, not necessarily the one that shot you. So I think that pretty much goes it. And it can't make a Blood Surge move while battle shocked. Not a huge surprise. This is this mandatory? No, it can make a Blood Surge move. So if this would be advantageous to you, you can do it. You do not have to. It's you can make a Blood Surge move, not you must. So you can't be forced to move off of an objective with your own Blood Surge rule. That's key too. This is very, very handy. Very handy indeed. That's another rule I'm kind of jealous of. Okay, Icon of Khorne. Each time you make a Blessings of Khorne roll, various units within range of objective marker you control, you can reroll on the dice. So, you get a reroll if you're holding an objective. Got it. Okay. That's nice to have too. Okay, and now we're going to look at Angron. So we're going to the other end, from the most basic unit up to the big man himself, Angron, the Red Angel, the World Eater's Primarch. Okay, 14-inch move. Toughness 11, so almost as good as a Land Raider. Save is 2 up, and he has a 4-up invul down here. 16 wounds. He becomes -1 to hit when he's 6. Leadership is 5. Objective control 6. And he has Somniarius and Spine-Grinder. You can either streak or swipe. If he strikes, it's 8 attacks. Weapon skill 2 up. Strength 16. AP -4 damage D6 +2. So basically this guy is swinging a multi-melta. Except that the strength is 16 instead of 8 or 9. Wow, that is just going to annihilate a lot of things. You're hitting on 2 up. You're going to wound most things on a 2, maybe a 3, and a lot of things just won't be able to save. Like this thing, I think this thing is going to be the bane of Space Marine Dreadnoughts or Wraithlord, things like that. Pretty brutal on the new tanks as well. And the sweep, we've got 18 attacks with skill 2 up, strength 8, AP -2, damage 2. Obviously very, very good against most infantry. The damage to that makes, like, if you're fighting custodians or anything, terminators, anything with 3 wounds, that's going to be a little less than optimal, but still pretty darn good. All right, what do we got here for his glorious bloodline? All right, World Eaters units within 6 inches model, uh, add 1 to charges. Okay, very, very good. Love to get a +1 to charge. One of my favorites. While a friendly World Eaters unit that is below its starting strength is within 6 inches of this model, add 1 of the attack's characteristics. For purposes of abilities, the starting strength of 1 is considered below its starting strength while lost 1 or more wounds. Okay, so +1 strength if you've taken losses or injuries. Righteous Slaughter. While friendly World Eaters unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model makes an attack, you can roll the hit roll. So, okay, so you're getting +1 to charges, um, +1 to attacks if you're below starting strength, and hit rerolls within 6 inches of this guy. So, holy cow. And World Eaters units are already going to be no joke in melee. That's just going to turn them up well past 11. That's ferocious. He flies. Epicurica, no surprises down here. And that 14 inch, that is fast too. Like the currently, the similar, like the Heretic Astartes Demon Prince only was 12. So this guy has a huge threat range. Gigantic. And of course, he has Khorne, so he has World Eaters. Yeah, you could advance and charge him. So that would mean his total threat range would be up to 26 inches if you maxed out your 6s. Each time you can use a 666 from that roll to use this ability. If you do this, model is no longer destroyed his place in reserves with full wounds remaining. So you can bring him back if you get 666s. Not sure. I'll have to add that to when I do the math video. I am going to have to do a math video on this now. Because now I've just got to know what the probabilities are like. But 666, if you're an old Dungeons and Dragons player like me, you tend to think of the 666 as that holy grail of rolls. Oh, I got a natural 18 because when I started playing back in the 80s, you rolled your ability scores on 3d6 in order. It's terrible. But that 18, when you see that pop up, oh, it's an 18. It's a lot easier when you're rolling 8 dice than 3, but it's still not going to come up that frequently. Okay, Wrathful Presence. At the start of your charge phase, select 1 Wrathful Presence ability. Until the start of your next charge phase, this model has that ability. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're only picking 1 of these at a time. Okay, that's good. Okay. So he's not just buffing them completely through the roof. He gets to pick a buff, just like Boot Guilliman do. And I should have caught that earlier before I started talking about it. The one thing with these cards, the way they're laid out, is like some things are a little not always in the best spots. I would put this above this and then have these indented if I was formatting. And I'd also move the invulnerable save up here right after the save. I'd have like INV and then here, put it in here, and then just put NA if it doesn't have one. But minor quibbles. Overall, I like these. I'm going to like these cards a lot. Okay. Yeah, I can bisect whole squads of Space Marine. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much can. Okay, next we're going to look at the Demon Gore Cannon, the belly gun on the Khorne Lord of Skulls. This is another of those models that is just completely over the top. Not in the same way of being abusive like some models that have been overpowered have, but just in terms of appearance in this thing, and it's just like this is the most awesomely silly yet awesome thing I've ever seen. Uh, I this thing, it cracks me up, but at the same time it's so appropriate. Okay, so we don't have the full stats for the Lord of Skulls, but we do have the Demon Gore Cannon. 18-inch range, 6d6 attacks, ballistic skill 3 up, strength 14, AP minus 4 damage, d6 plus 2. Oh, and it's blast. So this thing is a supercharged multi-melta, pretty much. It doesn't get the melta roll, just gets the 2 built in, and it has blast instead. It's definitely better than a multi-melta, but that's a very, very good general purpose weapon. Obviously, you're getting a very swingy distribution of attacks with single D6, but he's got a whole nother gun there, which is it's got 8 barrels. Of course, it's 8. I don't remember what that thing does right now, but he's got that plenty of anti-infantry firepower there, and of course he has a big axe. They are world eaters after all. That's true. He wouldn't be a world eater without an axe, or well, failing that, some kind of sword. All right. And what's our stratagem here? Blood offering. Any phase. One world eater's unit from your army that was just destroyed while it was in range of an objective marker you control. You can use the stratagem on that unit even though it was just destroyed. Okay. Well, this objective will remain under your control even if you have no models within range of it until your opponent controls it at the start or end of any turn. Okay, so this basically can give you sticky objectives. I think it'll obviously be most useful if you get wiped off an objective by shooting. If the enemy has units on it that beat you in melee somehow. But yeah, 1 CP for sticky objectives. That's definitely very handy. Smart play with this could certainly swing a game. Not as brutal as a lot of the other ones, but very, very useful. Okay, let's see. We're not even killing the last few berserkers can keep you from scoring. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is, if you're playing against world eaters, you really have to keep this in mind to keep careful attention of whether or not they have a CP left. All right, what else we got? High strength attacks AP of units like trucks with no brakes going downhill. Yeah, they certainly do. What else have we got down here? Khorne, book on Khorne, and the Red Path for Stans. I'm not sure how these guys would be to read about. I mean, they seem to be so out of control all the time. But I've started reading the Night Lord's books, and they're a lot more approachable than I was afraid they might be. So, it might be worth a look. I think I might be even more interested in this one, Angron the Red Angel. Find out what's going through his mind. Moment is return from perspectives. 3 years. Cool thing with their gene sire weakens. Oh, okay. So it's about his return from 3 of his scions there. Okay. Thanks for watching. What do we got coming up next? We're going to be looking at Adeptus Mechanicus probably very, very soon. Gonna try to hit up a little bit more Inquisitor Martyr, and then we'll get on to Eldari. This is another one I'm very excited for. Eldari were my original army. Back in 2nd edition, I still have a considerable force of them, and they are one that even though I kind of feel like they're not my army anymore, they still are. They're one I go back to for more often than you'd think for a blast from the past, and I'm very excited to see what they have in store for the Eldari. There was a leak, I believe, a while back that implied that Eldari would just get nerfed all over the place. I found it hard to believe. Very difficult to believe. And I certainly hope it's not the case. We're going to find out about that very soon. This weekend will definitely be the How to Save Money on Taking Your Kids on Vacation video. And I'm also going to have one on top 5 activities to do on vacations. Not too long after that. I want to get a little bit more of the wilderness content out of there because we've had a lot of the wargaming. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Once again, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and click the notifications bell. And I will be back with you again with the Adeptus Mechanicus very, very soon. Bye-bye.